And we see some beautiful things going on across the market this morning. It's off to a hot start. Cryptocurrency, we're coming up to these resistance points on a lot of these charts. XRP broke out of our consolidation, but hasn't broke up over as of yet, past a very critical 298 level, then ultimately pushing up to $3.06. Remember, we came out of the first area. Now we got to get past 298 to push to that 306 area. And then we can start pushing 330 and ultimately $3.73 if we continue to build this momentum. One thing I will preface this out by saying is I started this live at a strategic time here this morning. I've been debating it for the last hour or 2 hours and doing it at 5 a.m. But I started to see in the smaller time frames we would get into this overbought scenario when the U.S. and the West Coast and about lunchtime on the East Coast, where we probably have to have a small consolidation in some ways, possibly at some point here. And I want to talk about that to see where we could get an entry if you're not in yet. If you're not in cryptocurrency yet, I think this is going to be a very important live for you to watch. If you're looking to buy certain assets, I've been doing my due diligence and I at least have an avenue for IOTA. And it's up to you if you want to do a KYC or not, because technically it's a no KYC exchange, even in the USA. They don't have fire blocks, but they're backed by a 1,000 Bitcoin reserve for user funds. So, I mean, if Bitcoin ever went down 95%, I mean, that's something to consider. But as of right now, it seems to be the best alternative for the USA. And I didn't waste any time at, taking advantage of that. So it's up to you. You don't have to do a KYC or not. That's WeX. They also have XDC, Dent, and so many others. Now, if you're looking to get XDC on a tier 1 exchange, you can at least get it on Kraken. I advise you to do Kraken Pro for the $4.95 a month because you get $10,000 a month with no trading fees. It'll show a trading fee when you make the trade. Or it'll say, it'll show what the trading fee would, but you get refunded or it takes it off, let's just say on a credit basis, I suppose you could say, but up to $10,000, well, $10,000 a month. But I honestly, at this stage, I'm enjoying WeX now, looking at the interface. It reminds me a lot of BitUnix, the fact you can do a no KYC, but for tax purposes in the USA, obviously a KYC is necessary, but there's just an option there now. So I put a video in the video description below and our pinned comments of this very live. You'll see the first link is for WeX, and that's for mainly IOTA, XDC obviously as well, Dent's on there. There's actually a lot of different things on there, but today my son's home from school. He was stuffy and congested over the weekend, and he's got a G2, but when he was trying to eat through the mouth this morning when he woke up at 2:30 a.m., from just the phlegm and stuff, it kind of, when you choke a little bit, and he threw up. So he doesn't seem sick to where he wouldn't have went to school. But by rule, if you throw up, you can't go to school for 24 hours. It's just, that's a rule in the class in public schools. So, and I like that rule. And even if we sent him to school, we would know. So he went back to sleep at 6 a.m. And he's waking up now, but he seems to be doing okay. It's a good start to the morning, I think. Don't ignore the fact that gold is up $55 today, up to 3,641. You've got Barrett Gold up 1.6% to 28.89. B2 Gold keeps creeping up another 2.88% to 429. Silver's up 1.2% at $41.45. Pan America Silver's up another 3.3% to $35.76. It's like yesterday, it was at $18. Unbelievable. First Majestic up 3.5% more, up to $9.47. I remember when they made the acquisition and it jumped down to $4.48, and I'm like, oh my God, we're getting a fucking steal here, because it looked bad on the books. When you have an acquisition, you don't have as much cash on hand. But no less than 3 months later, it had completely rebounded. Here we are about 6 months later. It's up over it's at 947. Fortuna Silver Mines looks like it's getting ready to take another leg here. It's at $7.74. Hecla Mining's the star of the morning right now, up 12.69%. And this one, I feel like just yesterday, it dived down to $5.44 or $5.38. And we were on here saying this is the single largest silver producer in the USA. It's a very reputable company. It might be a mid cap because it doesn't have as much of like it's not as large of a company, but it dominates. It's the single largest silver producer in the USA, up 12.69%, about a one bagger from where it had that dive down just about 2 months ago, and it's at over $10 a token or $10 a share. I know a lot of you have been listening to me talk about heckler this, heckler that. It's nice to see it over $10. It's a great thing to see. I think we're going to get some similarities here. Silver Corp at $4.93 had a sell-off this morning into the 470s. Quickly bought it back up. But yeah, that's a great, that's awesome to see there as well. But I am happy to be on right now. I'm happy to be doing this on this Monday morning. I'm happy to be here after a surge in crypto overnight so that now we can see what the consolidation looks like to confirm these breakouts together and to see where we can go from here. You know, the whole weekend our narrative's been Ethereum. Yes, it's broke down, but it's on support on the bottom half of the structure. And now you could, even if you're bearish in real time, and this is real why we have a major opportunity here. Even if this was bearish, it could come all the way up to 4,842 and technically hit what looks like a breakdown out of a micro rising wedge. Fair? And then it could have opened up this little pattern that we're in right now that we have set up. And we can look at it like that to be more appropriate. Now this should be up here now. 4,308 if we're looking at it for real. Like if this is real, like you gotta look at it like this. Nice falling channel developed here as well, which is something that is noteworthy. Very noteworthy. This will be another way to know. Are we... Actually, you know what? As much as we could put it... you know what? I kind of like that, because then you hit that wick. Yeah, I like that a lot. So now you know if you get above this channel, this is what you got to do to get in some real movement up to that rising wedge. How about that? Is that fair? I think that's fair. 4,400 and... No, it's going to be a little lower than 52. I was going to say that didn't even sound right. 4,437 is the micro resistance to try to get to the rising wedge based on what I see set up. A little bit of a channel. I think that's fair. I think that is so fair. Good morning. 11:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, September 8th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So on the title, it simply says, XRP surges back to $3. How does XRP confirm a breakout? We'll discuss that. XDC, don't ignore. We'll discuss why. Gold plus $54, as we already talked about. Hecla plus 11%. Picked up another 1.2% or so. But, you know, don't go chasing. Don't go chasing. Oh, you two boys screws with old Tom. I'm yet to get a notification that I'm live on my tablet that I watch it on. You know, my touchscreen. Frankie Fresh, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor, along with Papa Wheelie. Papa Wheelie, and hopefully the workday goes smoothly and everything that needs to get done gets done, and you can get home nice, safe, and your mental capacity's intact. Robert Latham, welcome in. Tanya May, good morning, love, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRB 589 Moon Badge. Good afternoon to you, yes indeed. Good afternoon on your end. Hopefully everything's going great so far. Hopefully it's going good. Syrian, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge, along with UK Phil. And Syrian, thanks for being a very trusted mod in here and in the Telegram. Awesome, awesome, awesome. The Gatman, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. What a dedicated son of a gun that guy is. G Stock, good morning, friend, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 2nd month with the Dusty House Crypto News. Excellent seeing you continuing on. David Hoff, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 1st month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens, and that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge circa 2019. Nick Morales, good morning, and thanks for being a very trusted mod in here and in the Telegram. I'm glad I came on when you were on break. Excellent. You got to hear at least a few minutes here, nonetheless. Mario Louise Willamese, welcome in. Oh yeah, Nick's a very awesome. He's a very diligent part. He's the technical advisor in the Telegram. So many good relationships he's building in there with the general audience. If one day he ever decided to go into social media or tried to have a channel of his own, I would certainly support that. He's done his due diligence trying to help everybody. But you know, that obviously being on social media and this garbage isn't for everybody. A lot of politicking that goes along. Jay Freemix, good morning. Big Dog, good morning, and thanks for being in town for over 3 months with the XRP meteor. If I was watching, I'd say, is that guy trying to politic to keep somebody not doing social media to keep himself valid? When you think of everything that somebody could be thinking about, it just made me laugh for some reason, thinking like somebody sitting there going, wait a minute, I've seen this act before. He's trying to preserve himself and telling the other person that it's not for everybody. Good morning. Ronald Grump, good morning. Hopefully you're not Grumpasaurus this morning. Maybe he's Ronald Pump. He's pumping up the market. No, I'm just kidding. Ronald, good morning. Mark Korf, good morning, and thanks for a $19.99 donation this morning, Artie. Holy crap, call me surprised. I didn't know anybody donated. I haven't moved my screen down yet. Excellent. Thank you, Mark, so much. And then the emote that you shared with that is funny. Oh, if I wasn't on YouTube, I could have made a better funny joke, but I won't. It just says race quit. I love it. Let's see. Mrs. G. Stott, welcome in. Also now in Tom's Army for your second month. I appreciate you continue on with the Dusty House Crypto News. Mr. and Mrs. Stott in the house. I love it. Thank you both so much. Trading with J Ride, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years. Wow. With the XRP Diamond Hands badge. And also a $10 donation. 2 donations this morning. Holy smokes. We're breaking the sound barrier this morning. This is crazy. Thank you so much, both of you. We haven't even done anything yet to get 2 donations. I appreciate it. Jason Tyler, good morning, and I appreciate you being here. Man, I'm getting terrible FOMO, but I think we get a crash. Never get FOMO on Monday morning, folks. Just watch to see how the consolidation goes. You know, but also don't be petrified. You got to find areas. We'll go over all this. We'll go over IOTA. We'll go over XDC. We'll go over XRP. I like to say hi to some of my good fellows, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. I say hi to everybody. The Cannabis Podcast, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Love it, love it, love it. Shane, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Love it. Thank you so much, Shane, for continuing there as well. The second month, that's the one. That's the important one. If you continue into the second month, we could have a chance to get you at least to that I told you so badge at 1 year. Obviously, you get the XRP Meteor in month 3, so that's a cool one, too. Big Dog has it. He knows. Kyle Cooper, welcome in. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge, along with Vado Damas. Odele, Vado Damas. And Cape Cod Kyle from Massachusetts. I appreciate your service for over 1 year in Tom's Army. How awesome is that? Matthew Ramelli, if you are ever in Vegas, will it let you buy IOTA? Oh, wait a minute. If you are in Matthew Ramelli, welcome. He says, if you are in Vegas, will it let you buy IOTA on it? Because everywhere I have tried it, never lets me out here. It's a hell of a question because there's 3 places that always seem to have issues in the USA. New York, Vegas, and normally California and or Texas for some reason. But the general consensus is Vegas and New York City, or at least New York as a whole, has the hardest time, especially within New York City. But those are the 2 places, Vegas and New York, that I've heard have an extremely hard time for some reason with most of the exchanges. So I don't know. I would love if you would report back to me on that. If you could click that link and tell me what it says for Vegas, it's in the. So if you go on if you're in the comments, if you could just click on this link and tell me what it says, because you'll be able to answer a very key question for this audience. And there's no obligation, but you're clicking the link. It doesn't do anything. It just goes to the thing. Whoops. So up here, if you click on it, see where it says WeX, just click on that. And then you can tell everybody who lives, because I'm sure there's other people in Vegas watching. In fact, I know there are. Crypto Cooter, good morning and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. And also, thanks for being a very trusted mod in here and in the Telegram. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? AUB, good morning and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Dan Marginal, good morning and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 2nd month with the Dusty Hours Crypto News. I think we're catching up here. We're doing good. No notification came through. Of course it didn't, Bearded Dragon. And thank you also for being in Tom's Army for your 2nd month with the Dusty Hours Crypto News. No, I didn't get one either, so I figured not many did. You're welcome, Nick. No, I don't think, man, it's tough, Nick. I don't think necessarily, but we obviously have to understand, like, for me, there was 2 ways to buy this, Nick. So I don't think you necessarily would have missed it because I wouldn't have bought it in the mid-range. So the only 2 ways I would have looked at it and said, okay, this is where I think it would have signaled to buy. One, let's just say it gets up. We know it's going to have to back test. So maybe, because we're trying to get a number, maybe it back tests at 83.49. So you really don't lose anything by waiting for it to go over because it's going to have to come back and back test. You and I both know when you get patterns that set up like this, it very rarely doesn't come back down. Even if it takes a month, it comes back down. So, I mean, we started this in December of 24 when this rally came to an abrupt halt. And now we've been consolidating ever since. The apex of this is actually... So we have to, what am I trying to say here? We have to figure out where the 70% of this move would be. So if it started in December of 24 and the apex is in March of 2026, what is the 70% move? Anybody want to help me as I continue saying hi to everybody? Let's engage ourselves. This is how we engage ourselves. Let's see. I think I'm almost caught up, though. Jason Tyler, welcome in. Much love to you as well, my friend. You said, my consensus is very ambiguous. With the feds and crypto, I really don't want to seem pessimistic. UW. I do believe in crypto in the long term. Won't win if I don't play. Very fun times. Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I get the pessimism. Some would say I'm far too pessimistic for this. If I didn't understand technicals, people would probably say you'd never trade this crap. RC Crew, well, good morning. So, just based from a pure pessimism view, how I have with crypto, I would imagine the Vegas casino money doesn't like crypto. I would agree with that, Botodamus, greatly. Greatly. So I guess here I'll answer it myself. 70% of the move, I would say you'd have to get somewhere around November of this year. I think November of this year is actually a nice area. So if you were back testing, maybe it does it around there. Who knows? But that's where we have to get to, is that 70 percentile. Basically like this was. It basically, from a reversal standpoint, inverse head and shoulders, back testing the breakout. Now you're back test or trying to break out of the consolidation to confirm the breakout. I mean, this is so utterly bullish. It's insanity. It really is. This is utterly bullish. It's just... everybody focuses on the micro and the well, everybody focuses on the macro and gets scared by the micro. I try to show the micro so that you're not afraid of the macro. I know, it's backwards. Oh, I just think I just think when they start Mondays like this, it's always scary. It's especially my other indicator here is, what is gold and silver doing? Well, gold and silver got off to a rather hot start here, which means it's finding itself into safe money. But at the same time, crypto, which is a risk asset, which you can't misrepresent what gold and silver and mining stocks are. They are risk off assets, but they're also risk on. What that means is they react in a risk on and risk off environment the same way. So whether they're going to be bullish or bearish, they really don't give a shit. It's just a matter of where they're at and what the public perception is. They can trade both environments. Crypto is very much a risk on. If we're in a risk off environment, quantitative tightening, rate hiking, people are like, oh my God, I'm so damn broke. I got to sell all my risk. Or I can't take this chance that the U.S. or my native currency is being devalued so badly that I need to store my value. A lot of people think you're buying gold and silver to be a side bet, or it's like trading the stock market. It's absolutely not. The gold and silver is for devaluation of the dollar in the USA and wherever else you live. If you live in Canada, the CAD, or anywhere you live, anywhere. You're trying to not get devalued. Like, think about it. This is what devaluation looks like. Ready? Let's ask Gemini.
$25,000 IN 1983 would BE worth.
I just got put in gold. Oh, you son of a bitch.
That's an excellent way to think about it. When you were born in 1983, $25,000 had a certain purchasing power. To figure out what that same amount of money would be worth today, you need to account for inflation. Due to the cumulative...
So think about it. I was born in 1983. It was worth $25,000. Now, the same thing based on inflation, it would be $81,000 today. Right? So, if I had $25,000, listen to this.
Calculating the value of a $25,000 gold investment from 1983 to today requires looking at the...
So everybody listen. In 1983, if I had $25,000 when I was born, I would have to have $81,000, which means my money got devalued. So my $25,000 can buy what $81,000 buys today. But if I had it in gold from 1983, just because it's a savings, right? That $25,000 worth of gold is worth $212,000. So it's not just staying above inflation, it's crushing inflation. So even if I had it in a savings account that got the proper yield to stay up with inflation, it'd be worth 81. Gold's worth 212,000.
An investment of $25,000 IN gold IN 2021 would... Inflation measures the change in the purchasing power of money over time. While the value of $25,000 itself doesn't change, its purchasing power is different due to inflation.
That doesn't seem
the inflation
right.
rate.
No, that could be right. No, it seems like it'd be worth less than $24,325. Okay, fine. Let's just assume, yeah, because it's 2.7% a year. That's fine. But it's more than that. But let's go by their numbers. So now you have $24,325. Okay? So you lost $665 in the bank.
Based on historical gold prices, a $25,000 investment in gold in 2021 would be worth significantly more today.
Okay. Even if you look at your $25,000 from 2021, and I use that because that's when I started on the air. So your $25,000, if you just had it in savings sitting in the bank, just hear me out, is worth $24,380 if we say what they said, devaluing by $620. If you had that same $25,000 in gold, it's worth $50,000. I mean, this is all I'm trying to tell you. That's it. Gold is simply there to. I mean, it's so obvious. Once I figured this out, I wanted to bash my fucking head through a wall with all the bullshit I was taught in school. It is so freaking insane what they don't teach us. Oh, it would make you sick. So think about it. Just from 2021, you're 25,000 sitting in the banks. We're 24,300 plus. If you just put that same 25 grand into gold because you're not going to spend it, it's worth 50 grand. You didn't have to do shit. Either way, you didn't have to do anything. And the savings, you can say whatever you want. That low rate savings bullshit. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. You get a few $100 that, I mean, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. 35 people left during that demonstration, believe it or not. 35 people. Man, it makes me sick. Oh, the hell with what this guy's saying. Huh? Who wants 220,000 instead of being devalued? Imagine the same philosophy. Buying it from 2021 until you retire. And like for me, technical retirement age for me being born in 1983 is like 2048. Imagine all the gold I bought in 2017, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. I didn't buy it in 24 and beyond. All that gold and all that silver is sitting there, and now we're in 2045. I'm sitting there going, oh my God. Look how shitty the dollar is, but oh my God. Yeah, but you're talking about a risk asset, AUB. I understand that. I know how that works. You're talking about apples to oranges. This is why everybody stays broke. I'm trying to teach you guys something, and what do you put down? You talk about what you could have in crypto. That's not a store of value. So what did you do with that savings? Did you put it anywhere? If you would have bought XRP in 2025, you know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's two different ball games. I'm not picking on you. I'm saying this is the exact response I get from everybody. You're cherry picking right now. I'm giving you something over time. You don't have to cherry pick. It continues to go up. Your crypto, it happens to be in a good spot right now from where you cherry picked that one time in 24. I could give you 95% of 24 and, 100% of 25 where every single person who bought XRP is underwater for the most part in 25. As to where if you bought gold in 25, you're crushing it. So it's not apples to apples. You're just cherry picking when XRP was at a good price. You can cherry pick gold from anywhere. I don't have to pick a certain timeline. If you would have bought, how about this? Fine. From your own philosophy, AUB, if you would have bought XRP in okay. Because we cherry pick now, right? This is my point. This is the point of when you cherry pick something. Ready? And that's why I own some other cryptos. Because I believe you can get wealthy quicker with crypto, but it's about timing the market, not time in market. For example, there's some people from 2017 that are still underwater in XRP. Had they have put that same money in gold, you don't even want to know what the differential would be. But we can, that's what I mean. But I agree with you, AUB. I agree with you. You have to use both avenues, but it's not an apples to apples discussion what I was trying to do. I'm trying to separate the two so you can understand. You have a savings account. Your savings account isn't in crypto. If it is, I pray that you bought at the exact right time. Your savings account can absolutely going forward be in gold and silver. I would prefer silver at this stage, I think, but time over time, silver is a much more volatile asset. But over time, you're going to reap the rewards way more than gold at this stage, I think. Although it's at 41.38 now, I've been pushing this message since 17 on silver and 1,600 on gold. So it's crazy to sit here at 3,600 plus and over 41. I mean, you can go watch those silver stacker videos. Silver was in the low 20s, And gold was at like 17, 18, 19. I like what AUB said, though, because it's true. Look how much you would have made off of 25 grand if you would have put it in, let's just say July, because that's where XRP was around that 38 to 40 cent mark of 24. Literally, you turn that into 240,000 right now. That's a fact. I wasn't trying to disparage him. I was trying to be very strong in the way I voiced myself when I first reacted to his comment, just so you can understand where my thinking was at for this point. But also acknowledging, and this is a point I've pushed often, a large part of what I built in precious metals and mining stocks was because of all my profits in crypto. I would take those profits from the bull run, mini runs, short-lived rallies, and if I wasn't putting it back in crypto, I would put it into precious metals, and then I built a huge mining stock reserve. Some with good trading of the miners, but also with investment over time. But yeah, touche, AUB. You spoke of the other side of this, which is awesome. I just don't want people to get it, like, it's not an and or, is what I want people to understand. And AUB dropping facts in crypto and now gold too. I love this guy. I love this guy. If gold follows, AUB says, if gold follows the same trajectory over the next 42 years, gold would have to get up to $28,000 an ounce, which seems possible if the dollar continues to lose value over. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so true. And with the trajectory of devaluation on the dollar, it's definitely possible. David Hoff, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for in your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Amen and band. Ooh, you're in band. I'm also in band. I like band. Yeah, I thought that was our area. If band was going to actually make a breakout, 72 was the perfect spot, Jason. Man, I'm so glad to see you in here time after time after time again, Jason. It's making me happy to see you in here a lot. It really is. Now, remember, though, if this doesn't bounce off of here, which we suspect maybe it has to come to 58, Jason, if this doesn't work out here. Because this would be kind of like the apex zone. It would not only be the breakout back test, but it would also be back on the support structure of the pattern it was breaking out of. So it could come down here if we're waiting for a mid-November breakout. However, the back test of the micro put us right at 72 cents area, and that's where we have our first chance. So we have to watch this closely. But I don't feel good this morning so far. I think we shot out of a cannon in crypto. But I want to see how we react here now that we're, not fading, but now that we're going to consolidate. We've consolidated a tiny bit, but nothing major. I mean, I feel great because we're moving, don't get me wrong. Made some serious dollars here in crypto, too, this morning. But, I want to make sure if we're breaking out that, we can confirm it. But I've seen something that's chilling on here, and it happens all too much. Robert Sergio, and I don't use Coinbase for a reason, and this is part of the reason why. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen to all my USA audience members, but this is something that was happening in 21 and 22, and then I ignored them in 23. Like, I didn't even pay attention to Coinbase going forward. There's some people I respect highly in here that are in it. If you're KYC'd, especially if you're on Coinbase Pro, I think that offers another layer of protection. So I'm going to ask some questions here to debrief. This is where I could use the phone call. Like, I would almost say, tell this guy to call me and be like, hey, if you want to call and you want to be on the air and share your story, I mean, this would be a perfect time. I would share my number I'd have him come to, or send me a message on Google. Hey, Robert. Now, you can either message me this on here, or you can be like, hey, I'll talk to you on the phone and we'll put you on speaker, and you can start our transition into something cool here that I want to start doing. It's got to be the right person at the right time. But Robert, I have a few questions I want to ask you to figure out some things. One, you can either say yes, I'll send you an email and I'll get your phone number right now at strutregali@gmail.com that you're going to give out for this particular thing. Or two, he'll talk on the phone. Okay, Robert. And Robert's been in this audience for a long time, so I know who he is. I trust him. Send me a message on strutregali@gmail.com and I'll send you the number. And we'll have a phone conversation. No. Be south. I'm gonna ask a lot of questions. This is the way to do it. You know, obviously he'll be on speakerphone if he does it. But we are live, remember, so. And this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And this is for entertainment purposes only, but we can try to help in real time. Oh, why didn't it share it as a link? AUB says, been listening to Tom for a while, which is why I bought gold around 2,600 and buying into oil, dollar cost average, to the first time my portfolio. Nothing wrong with that. I think oil is going to have a nice transcendence here. Oh, here we go. I got a message from Robert. So Robert, all right, so one, I don't want to tell everybody, but I'll send it to Robert. Oh, let's see.
You said you can't email.
No. Yeah, that's fine. You can just read mine. You can just read what I put for my number. And please don't share this, otherwise we're gonna get an overclogging on this phone line, and it's, you know, it won't be cool if so many people have it, because then I'm gonna cherry pick the audience. This is what I want to do. So you're gonna see part of the expansion of what I'm gonna try to do here. You're starting to see it, and this would be the mods job. We would have a centralized location for the mods going forward. Oh, I can't put my headset on because then they won't be able to hear them. All right, so Robert's gonna call. Hold on one sec. Good morning, Robert.
Yo.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. This is like so cool right now. It's like an honor to be talking to you on here. I learned so much.
I appreciate that.
Good.
Hold on one sec, Robert. I want to hear. Can you guys hear this at least on here? Because I'm gonna put the speaker down below. I'm assuming you'll be able to hear. Okay, perfect. So Robert, first of all, thank you so much for being like the first person to actually call in as I'm trying to integrate this into my show. But I have a few questions for you. First, I'm sorry to hear about this because this seems to be a very ongoing thing with cryptocurrency, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
But first, are you in the USA?
I'm in New York.
Okay, so he's in New York. So for anybody who's thinking he might not be in the USA, take that right out of the playbook. Because I know people are going to say.
Two-factor authentication, and I paid for Coinbase One $40 a month.
Oh, Jesus. So, okay, so you want to explain to everybody what that is? Because I don't use Coinbase.
I can explain the whole thing.
Please do.
If you want me to start from the top, I don't know how much you want to go into it. But
let's go into it.
Basically, this was all my family's money. Like, my mom has cancer. Like, it was some of her money, $2,000. My grandma's money, $1,000. All together, it was $10,700 XRP. It was $23,000. Okay, so I get an email, a phishing email. I want to tell this to people. If anybody, like, you know what I mean? I thought this would never happen to me. If anybody, like, has their money on Coinbase or online, get it off. They say and advertise as the most trusted cryptocurrency exchange, and that's a joke. If you go online and dig through the rabbit hole, it's like billions. I don't know, like a lot of money. Like millions and millions of people have had their identities basically are stolen because Coinbase has employees. There's multiple class action lawsuits where Coinbase has foreign employees that take bribes from hackers. And now that AI's come into the picture, AI can code for people and then make the fake email that they sent to me, and it said, please update your phone number. And I changed my phone number a lot. So I hit the email, update phone number, and then as soon as I hit that, because I had the two-factor authentication, it needed that number that they sent me. But when I sent the number thinking I'm updating my phone number, it just said you just sent 10,700 XRP to wallet address so-and-so, and then it pulled up a ledger in Australia. But I got no notification that another login from another device was made. So that's how it's Coinbase. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so this is from the phishing side of things. This is what I wanted to know because they're becoming very, very involved now. And like you said, with the involvement with AI, or at least the evolving of AI, it's making this very scary. Even when
And
you
the
have...
thing that's tricky too is if you admit to phishing, it's on you. It's your fault. So don't do that.
Yeah, true.
That's what Coinbase will say. They're like, oh, you shouldn't have clicked that.
So it looked exactly the same as what your normal, like, it looked identical.
Identical. It was made by, I don't know, AI or whatever, Coinbase employee, but I mean, you could not tell looking at the email. It looked like Coinbase with like the blue, like, and everything.
Okay.
And it was not easy finding a lawyer to take the case either.
Okay, so anybody who's in the similar steps, like, do you want to go through the horror of that process, or do you want to keep that out of it? Like, because people need to understand it's not just X, Y, and Z to get your stuff back. It's not.
And I used the ledger 90% of the time. I had it on there for 6 months, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. I had it on the ledger for years.
So what's the process now? Like, just hope and pray? Like, what did the lawyers say?
Honestly, the process was very tedious, frustrating. You know, as it happened, I called Coinbase one. The guy basically they just took down, you know, the information, said, okay, we're sorry you got robbed, and then you're on your own, basically. And then the lawyers, a couple of them made us send like a bunch of stuff. You run around for days trying to like get all this paperwork and get the case together for the lawyer, and then they say, yeah, this isn't enough money for us. Or like a big city lawyer in New York City was like, he's like not going to waste his time because he has so many other, because it's such a common problem, he's so busy, and there's not many lawyers that know how to do this, that they're only taking like the best cases they can find. So
Yeah,
I found like some other smaller lawyer that said he would take the case. He mailed me like some paperwork with notarized, and then I signed it, and he takes 40% of whatever proceeds he gets, or I get without him. Anything I get back, he takes 40%. And that's after his fees.
This is why I wanted to ask about that.
Oh,
I've heard
fees
this.
is 40%. 40%.
I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry.
No, I've heard a lot of people who have gone through, especially because I do this, I get a lot of messages, but they say how costly it is. Even if they do get it back, they're still losing a significant portion of what they lost. So it's...
Oh, yeah.
That's the part of it that I want everybody to hear for real. Like, that's... Man, I'm so sorry to hear this. What we have to figure out is a way to... For you, I mean, this is part of what my fear is in crypto. I know you've heard me this is my biggest fear of what's happening in crypto. And all the stuff that they're creating in Congress is making this easier and easier and easier. All these backdoors, for whatever reason, they don't seem to care about all the hackers when it comes to crypto. They really don't. And it's so strange.
No, because, and right before this, if you look into it, there was one task force that would help people get their stuff back. And then when Trump took back on the government or whatever, they got rid of it. So, like, if your money's stolen and it wasn't like $100 grand, it's really hard to get it back. And then if you do, the lawyer's going to take most of it, so half of it.
Well, I know this doesn't make you feel any better, but at least for the audience, you've done a huge service right now so that they know never trust an email, never trust a phone call. Even if it looks like it's from your exchange, make sure you log into your app. Make sure you contact them directly before doing any kind of updating to your contact info, sending anything that seems like, okay, this doesn't seem right. This is a terrible
Coinbase
situation.
Will never call or email you ever. You're only talking to Coinbase inside that app.
There, see that? Thank you so much for saying that. I've seen a lot of people comment that, but I didn't want to say it yet until you got done. But he just acknowledged that. Like, thank you for saying that, so people know.
Yeah, I heard kind of what you were saying. That's why I said
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because that's the truth. There's no Coinbase employees emailing you. I didn't know that.
Okay, well that's good though. At least that you're sharing that with the general public here, at least with the audience, just so they understand.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I really appreciate you sharing. I mean, I wish we could do more for you. The best thing we could do is get that information out so everybody knows, not just seeing people type. I think it hits different when you hear, the individual actually explaining it. I really do.
Yeah, well, the story that Coinbase is really the one at fault here is that basically my wife was just telling me they were completely hacked, right? And the hackers demanded a ransom, and the fucking CEO of Coinbase said no and didn't pay it. So instead, they stole from all Coinbase's customers.
That's another avenue to explore as well. I did not know that.
If you look it up, it's online. You can look it up. You go to classactionlawsuit.org or something, and you can see all the lawsuits against Coinbase, and you can find all the details in there.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it deeper. I'm gonna type it in my Google so I can do it off the air, just so I can start to. Oh, look at that! May 16, 2025, Coinbase data breach. The attacker demanded 20 million ransom, which Coinbase refused to pay. Instead, the company is cooperating with law enforcement. Yada yada. So listen, if you want to hear if somebody being ethical, I told you I've known Robert for not personally, but at least through the comments. That's why I was willing to, allow him to be the first caller. But he's spot on. He hasn't lied about anything. So I hope this helps somebody somewhere out there so that you don't have to go through these unfortunate events. Best thing we can do is try to teach everybody when it comes to these moments. I too have been, when it comes to crypto, as you know, Julie has 1,000 XRP that is sitting on Uphold right now as we speak that they have never given back since 23. She was able to take out 90% of her XRP, but for some reason it wouldn't let her take that out, and then they closed her account without any. And like, what's the repercussion? You're not going to find a lawyer that's going to go after her. At the time, it was like, $400 or what was it, $4,000. But now that would be, yeah, it was only worth about 400 at the time, and now it's worth about $3,000. So sitting there for her.
That's $3,000, man.
Yeah. So, but you never know what happens. It's like, with just like with you, you're dealing with the same circumstance. Now you're always like, I can never look at that, but then it makes it harder to look at every other exchange too. Really does.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where your money's, I guess, ledgers or cold storage is safest.
Even they have the back, there's back ways into them, but yeah.
I know,
theory.
they're not 100% either. It's like, but it's crazy. What are you supposed to do?
That's why, they tell you to stick to a tier 1 exchange, but isn't Coinbase a tier 1 exchange in the USA?
Yeah, Coinbase is. That's the one main exchange.
And it's crazy because I know a lot of people in this audience are on Coinbase right now.
Yeah, you guys are crazy. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I always say about Uphold, but each to their own, I don't want to offend anybody.
I mean, it might be safe if you do the two, but they have SIM swaps. They literally, like, a SIM swap is if those people, they got a lot of money on there. They will do something, they will, like, get your phone company and reprogram your SIM card somehow so that now, like, your phone is their phone or something, and then they can just steal everything, and they don't even need the two-factor authentication code. That's much more complex and sophisticated.
100%. So that's a scarier side that we'll have to go down one day.
Yeah, that's why with the crypto, it's very, I don't know. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, spread it out, put a couple ledgers, I don't know.
That's why I have a very strict policy. When I make profits in crypto, it goes into precious metals, and or if it's in the cycle, I build into miners, because at least I can get it on my JP Morgan side where I know that's not going anywhere. And up to 250 grand, I know, but at the same time, I would have so much more in crypto than I even have now if I could trust it. I don't trust the avenues of crypto is the problem.
Exactly. It's very hard to. It's like the risk and reward. Like crypto is, like you said, where you're going to make money, but...
Yeah, it's also where they seem to rug pull it without even being rug pulled.
Yeah.
But,
I know.
Robert, it was good talking to you. I'm going to end this right now. Can I have your blessing to share this just as it standalone? Like, cut it out so that it can be shared in its own little piece of content so everybody can hear it?
Yes, of course.
Okay. I appreciate it, Robert. Feel free to
All
message
right,
me
Tom.
after, too, if you want. Keep me updated.
All right, Tom. I will. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you. Have a
Bye.
good one, buddy. Bye. Man, I'm so heartbroken to hear that. All we can do is try to stand with each other and try to help each other and try to push that knowledge, onto the rest of the community. This is what I meant when I'm trying to integrate call-in segment. I don't know how it sounded to everybody, but I think it sounded good enough to where I can do it like this. But I will have to cherry pick in a sense. The person, the timing. In theory, the best thing I could do would get one person per show. One person per show that I see needs help. Or somebody that can share a story or somebody that's been through something that is vital for the rest of us. So that's very important that Robert just helped us with that. It was very important for me to try to get more of a human element into this programming. And one day it's my goal to be sitting in here with a couple of phone lines and to have people calling in, and the show would take direction in its own way. And then obviously I would still do my technicals, but that's something that I would like. It could grow into its own segment. So, and thank you everybody for feeding in and commenting and putting your perspective. And some of you use Coinbase and things like that. Craig, thanks for being in town for 6+ months with the XP Predictor, and Red Sea Dragon for being in for your first month. Craig, what happened with BitUnix is, for whatever reason, in late July, they, in their terms of services, updated from allowing USA users to not. But within that, they said if you're caught using a VPN, they can, take away your portfolio and just take the assets because you're using it illegally. They also said if you're from the USA, they could freeze your account without warning and then disperse as appropriate. They'd probably give you your funds back, but once you get to a certain point, or if you break the rules in a certain way, they basically said they can freeze and take it. And it's like, what avenue do you have? It's not valid in the USA, so you can't just go to, even if you could go to somebody, listen to Robert's call. It's not as easy as it sounds. When you get crypto taken from you, if it was easy, I would have got Julie's back from Uphold from 2023. And look at what I do. I have more knowledge than the average person because I literally do this every single day of my life since, March of 21 with all of you, but before that. So, it's a very difficult thing that's going on. Man, my heart breaks for Robert. It really does. He's been in here for quite some time. It was an honor talking to you, though, Robert. It really was. That's so rough. Garbanzo, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty Dotto's Crypto News. Sola Jeffy, welcome in. So we're going to get down to the end of this live. I want to get through XDC after XRP real quick. Obviously, I did that on the spur of the moment. It was a spur of the moment that I had a call in. Just a gut feeling that was the time. I got, the Lord spoke through me almost like a vessel. I could feel it. But for XRP, as we continue to move up here, we're very overbought in the 2-hourly, in the stochastic, 3-hourly, severely overbought, 4-hour. Like, this almost looks like a trap this morning. One, it should come down to at least $2.91 to $2.89 area to back test the 200-day. Two, I think with this pattern being so long, we should come back to like the area we just talked about. 288, maybe it extends down to. Maybe the apex, if we have to consolidate for a few days, it could bring it down to like 282 again. But the back test on the outside of this to me is critical. I think it's a critical back test. This pattern consolidation started at the resistance point in July on the support side, early July. So as this extension comes through, you want to make sure we back test this and then we get that validation for that push out to 373. But it could be much, much bigger along the way. If you look at it from here, this is your best perspective to look. So 290, but obviously extending down to 287. We want to make sure we understand that. That's your back test. The short apex of this would be in September. The longer version from where the support actually hit and what it created Could be all the way into the 16th instead of, what is this, the 13th. So basically right out the rate cuts. Actually, the 2-day FOMC meeting, ironically, starts on the 16th, does it not? So, you know, that's definitely something to watch. And once we break out of this, and we can rework this number, it's gonna be a nice move just in the micro. Because on the way down, we know it would be to $1.89. But now, if it's not the way down, folks, and we're taking the up, let's just say it happens somewhere around here. Let's give it some grace. I mean, that's how you get that 373. Maybe it's a little higher, 374. Because I never remeasured it. I just brought it down based on how it had moved. So, now with the rate cuts, is this FOMO? Possibly. But listen, this is just, we're too early for the FOMO right now. It's only the 8th. We have 8 days left. I think true FOMO would starting next week. You know, or maybe we could get FOMO here, but what I really would have liked to have seen was XRP to continue clearing this out. It actually did a phenomenal job clearing this out in the stochastic. The daily is starting to get back towards the higher areas, but still a lot of room to push here in the daily. Like, we could have some very nice movement here. Okay. I'm almost done, Drew. I literally am already been on for a long time. The back test, 290 to 287, depending on where you're looking at it. But that's what looks like should be happening. So if you haven't bought in, I would wait for that back test. Now, you might get caught up. It might not back test. Not every time it does. But it really seems like it should. And this is where retail could get kicked in the nuts here on Monday morning towards noon, lunchtime. Anyhow, XDC 8062. The significance of what XDC did is it broke down. And we talked about the pushback down and the fact that don't buy it when it made the push up. Make it when it consolidates around. Now, again, if you didn't buy it on the consolidation, it could be a symptom of where you have to wait for it to come up here and get above 8.5 and then hold. Or you're waiting for the back test it back at 7.8, 7.9, this time for it to hold. So that's the way we would want to do this. That's the way we would want to do this. Two Ravens, thank you so much for acknowledging Robert and also being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moonbeds, and I appreciate you saying great live. I know a lot of people are feeling a little saddened for Robert, as I am as well, but at least he put his sorrow behind him and what he's dealing with, and he decided for the greater good to teach everybody what's happening. It's a lot stronger when you hear it from when somebody's speaking from their soul, because it's hard to distinguish, you know, from comments. Even though you can tell a person's spirit after a while, for the general person not knowing Robert, you know, you wouldn't be able to tell just from the comments, but you can hear he's an honorable person. He has integrity, and he actually spoke the truth. And I actually got to look at something when he was talking. He told me to pull it up. Well, he didn't say to pull it up. He said you can look deeper within the stuff. But when I looked at it through Google, you easily found it. But about what was going on with Coinbase, because I had no idea. And, you know, I'm going to share that segment after I go live and it's available when I can save it. I'm going to cut it out, and then it'll be the call-in. You know, I don't know what to name it, but that's going to be number 1. So Robert's the first person. I'm not going to put his name because I don't want people to be like, I'll just say Robert, you know, and I don't know what I'll say. I don't know how I'm going to phrase it, but I'll figure it out. But he definitely did a huge service to what I'm trying to do here, to try to get that part of this off the ground in a sense, so that we can put real life situations of real life people with real life crypto horrors out there. That's what we're trying to do. We're looking at the horror stories. Everybody can talk about the winning stories, and we can talk about some of the good stuff within the call as well. But we definitely need to focus on some of the untold truths that are going on in crypto that nobody wants to really acknowledge. Well, there's bad stuff in all exchanges. That's true. Well, it didn't happen to me. Not yet. So, and the more regulations they put, the easier this is going to be. Unless they have a glorified exchange now, where it says JP Morgan Crypto Exchange, which is where I would be going, honestly. Or something like that. We're always going to be susceptible to these little hacks, these little... Oh my God, it's so frustrating. Anyhow, that's XDC. And then IOTA up 3.88%. Remember, in the video description below under pinned comments, there's WEX and Kraken, because Kraken has XDC. WEX has IOTA, also XDC, a few others. But at the same time, I mean, the reserve, I always try to be honest. The reserve, they don't have fire blocks on WEX, but they have a 1,000 Bitcoin reserve for user funds, which is a lot. It supersedes, outweighs by quite a margin what people actually have on there. But consider, if Bitcoin went down 50% or 75%, where does that put them? So be aware of where the market's at. If Bitcoin were to drop off to like, if it goes to 70K, who cares? That's fine. But let's say Bitcoin went to like 10K, 15, it might be a problem. That exchange might have a problem. Anything over 50, you don't have to worry. But once it gets under 50, I take all funds out of there immediately. Are you listening to me? If you ever see Bitcoin under 50K in this exchange, which has 1,000 Bitcoin reserve, is under 50K, get out of it. Take all your shit out of there and leave. Just leave. I know it's still at 50K and that's a lot of money, but get out. You're 150% crash away from them starting to put user collateral up. I've seen this happen before when it gets to a certain liquidation zone. You're fine right now. It's so overweighted right now for them, it's insane. Because of how high a Bitcoin is. Gets under 50, you start to wallop. So, and when I say wallop, I mean you turn around and you run for the fucking hills. You take your shit off of there. And if you can't take IOTA with you, you just sell it and take your money. Period. No questions. Don't even think twice. 4 hourly IOTA's up to the 200-day now. So this is, in theory, we're way overbought here in all these cryptos now. Way in the micro. But the volume is looking beautiful. The flow and the moving average convergence divergence. Weekly still stepping down a little bit. Way overbought though. And I'm assuming this is going to flip a little bit soon. But we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. We got to come up to this resistance up here over the top at 197. But now I'm looking for back testing at 1840 area probably to see if this is a breakout or not. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Thanks for everything, everybody. Robert, have a blessed evening. I hope you get some kind of salvation with this and some kind of resolution. If nothing else, you know, 40, 50% on the dollar is better than nothing. And at least you created a lot of awareness today, and maybe this can spark somebody watching in the audience that might do something more. So be blessed, everybody. Thank you all so much. If you want to be part of Tom's Army and get the exclusive Telegram, Robert, I'm giving you the exclusive Telegram today. I'm going to send you the link. That's for you, and that's forever. That doesn't expire. You don't have to join Tom's Army next month or something stupid. That's permanent. So that'll never expire. I'm going to send you, I know it's a very small thing, but at least you can be amongst friends, and you can continue talking, and, yeah, I'm going to send you this through the email. I think that's the least I can do. And then, if I get your email address, I want to send you out an XRP token that I have as well, so I have a few of them. I'd like to send you out an XRP token as well. Small token of my appreciation for being a part of this programming.